loves, it's your girl Amoore. I have been wanting to update you guys. I'm so happy I get to be here. I'm so grateful for all of you that have been staying tuned for the journey. There is a lot that's going to be going on.
A lot.
This video is for those who are going through a hurdle, a setback, something that is just going on that is just like what's going on? Throughout all the clips, you will see some tips and stuff like that on how you can overcome all that. It's inevitable. We are all human, whether some would like to admit it or not. And being human means that life is gonna life. When that happens, there are ways to overcome anything that is not of your interest or of your favor or something that is just not so great. We can do that in the best way rather than an unhealthy way. I was going through some stuff, then things kept on happening over and over again. Things that weren't, some people would not like or enjoy. I was thinking to myself, why am I going through this? So why not make these obstacles into an opportunity? As I said in my last video, I decided to own the dang thing.
The situation or thing that you continue to perceive as a setback is actually a launch pad. In fact, the only reason why you're experiencing it as a setback or experiencing it as you being stuck is because you continue to perceive it as a setback. It's not a setback because actually you need to look at something within yourself before you can get to the next level. That's why this is happening. This perceived setback is actually a canon event leading you to your next timeline. The keys to the kingdom of heaven are in perception. So the difference between perceiving it as a setback versus a launch pad determines whether you react as a victim to your circumstance or the victor of your story. No situation has the power to immobilize you for the rest of your life, but the perception that you're experiencing a setback, well, that could set you back, who knows, so many weeks, how many months, years. The faster you can turn around your mindset to view what you perceive as a setback as an opportunity to go within, learn about yourself, launch into the next timeline, the faster you're going to move on to that timeline.
There could be two people. These two people are having the same situation, like a challenge. It could be something unfavorable that you would not want to happen to you. It could be something that I don't want to happen to me. Take that and keep that in mind. One person can be like, I hate this. Life is over. This sucks. I'm never gonna do this or that again. But then there's this other person. They're like, okay, this happened. And maybe this is just something that is happening to me. Maybe because this is building me as an individual. This is building my character. This is building me to be the person I need to be in the future. Maybe this happened because I was not supposed to be there at that time. If there's a delayed situation, maybe it's because you were being prevented from danger or something else. It's always perspective. When you shift your reality into thinking into a positive perspective, this can align you with a better path. You can be a better person overall when you think in better terms of things. It's not easy. It takes time to gradually build up to that. Something can happen to you and it just like doesn't make sense. That's happened to me. But I use that experience to push me and propel me towards better things in life. And then I also think of people I love. People should be the builder. I always think about family. It's like, how can we grow as a whole? How can we grow and how can we make ourselves better? What is this experience, this particular experience? It could be anything, right? Teaching me, or where is it guiding me? Is it going to make me a better person? Yes, it will. But if you decide to make that experience, can be terrible like mine was. If you take that terrible experience and let it just keep you down, that's just like the worst thing ever.
Anyone who annoys you is teaching you patience. Anyone who abandons you is teaching you how to stand on your own 2 feet and value the other relationships in your life. Anyone who angers you is teaching you compassion and forgiveness. Anything that has power over you is teaching you to claim your power back by choosing how you respond. Anything you fear is teaching you courage and the power to overcome your fears. Anything you can't control is teaching you how to let go. Anything you hate is teaching you to love unconditionally. Everything in life is teaching you something.
What you can do to make yourself better, like forget whomever wronged you, they are of nothingness, but that experience of whatever happened is going to make you a better person to make your life better. Whatever they're doing, it doesn't matter after that, because it happened, it was there, so we move past it.
What happened has happened, and I understand how badly you wish you could change it. But remember, dwelling on the past can take up so much of your precious mental space. It's time to gently release the grip it has on your heart. Let yourself heal from the pain, step by step. You deserve the freedom to embrace the present and the future with a lighter heart. Be kind to yourself and allow the process of healing to unfold. You are stronger than you know, and brighter days are ahead.
Success is not just what you get, but also who you become. Do you realize as you start going through life and start having some success, you're not going to be the same person? But to have success, we got to read good books. We got to watch personal growth giants. We got to run with winners. We're going to change as a person as well. Guys, come on. Let's set our goals high. You know, Zig Ziglar says if you'll shoot for the stars, you'll at least land on the moon. Let's start going for that success. Let's get a vision board. Let's get our goals. Let's get to doing some stuff. But I'll say this, it's not just what you get out of it, it's what you become as well.
The best thing to do is to just keep on self-improving.
Spend so much time improving yourself that you have no time to criticize others. Focus on your journey, your growth, and your goals. Embrace the process of self-improvement, and you'll find that there's no room left for negativity. When you dedicate yourself to becoming the best version of you, you cultivate a mindset of positivity and progress. Imagine waking up each day with a plan to better yourself. Every moment spent on self-improvement is a step towards your ultimate potential. You become so engrossed in your growth that other people's shortcomings no longer matter. Your energy is directed towards your own aspirations, not the faults of others. This journey is about building character, resilience, and a positive outlook. When you focus on self-improvement, you develop a deeper understanding and compassion for others. The need to judge or criticize fades away. Embrace this mindset and watch how it transforms your life. You'll find more joy in your achievements, more peace in your heart, and more kindness in your interactions. Spend so much time improving yourself that you have no time to criticize others, and you'll create a life filled with growth, positivity, and fulfillment.
Just basically own it. Be you. Keep on living life to the fullest and try to make life for those around you better than what it was before. Even if you are in a bad experience, something has happened that you just don't particularly like, it's okay. Things happen for a reason.
The happiest people in the world are the ones who have learned how to let go the quickest. They're the ones who have figured it out that it is not their responsibility to make people behave or act a certain way in order for them to be okay. They've come to the realization that humans on Earth are going to act and be and do things that are not going to be 100% aligned with who they are and with how they think. And they know that that is okay. They've learned that the more that we hold on to what we want to change or how we want things to be is only limiting us from making space for the things that do belong in our world. Because they know that the more space they create, the more blessings they can bring into their lives. Are you happy? And if not, what is it that you need to let go of?
We can take that, shift it, we can make our lives better from that experience. We learn from it. We can help others that we love learn from that experience as well by sharing it and watching out for them. Also taking that experience to make sure that you move along and help out others in the best of your abilities. I have been doing so much research. There has been many things that I would like to speak about. However, I cannot at the moment because it's a very sensitive time. As you can see, I took so many different kinds of notes. Notes on notes. This was something that I felt passionate about, especially when it comes to something that you really sacrifice a lot for. Like, put yourself in these shoes. Imagine that you've been working so hard for something. You have done all the things. You've dotted your I's, you crossed your T's, and for some reason, things don't seem right. Have you ever had that feeling where life is off course, something isn't right? When those kinds of things happen, it's best to know how to deal with those in a healthy way. At this time, I'm just going to generalize what has helped me. I'm not saying I know everything. I never will claim to know the answers, regardless of wherever the point in my life is. I will never know all the answers. I humbly say that. I feel as though God has made that to be his thing for a reason. Within this short period of time in our lives, it's not long enough to claim to know everything. Marcus Aurelius would say, a true individual who is wise enough would know that they know nothing. There is another philosopher that said, I know nothing. Socrates. Some people call him Socrates, but Socrates said that all I know is that I know nothing. Like I said earlier, humble opinion is that the most intelligent people that I've come across are very humble, and they do not pretend to know everything. Better to come across that way, because we can totally learn something from everyone, from every outlet of life and every level of education. We cannot be the first to say, oh, I know this because I have this degree, I have this experience. Everyone's walk of life is substantial in its own sense. It's true, because like the moment you think you know everything, you've already lost. Come on now. It's inevitable. The moment you do think you do, it's the moment where something happens where it just throws you off balance, and then questioning life and everything. And that's natural. That's a very hard burden to carry around. Sounding like Kamala Harris or something. Unburden yourself. And I'm not a Kamala fan, but let me be clear. When it comes to my future and my career and things like that, it means so much to me, and it creates so much anxiety when I feel uncertain. I had to do some reflection. If you really take a close look, there is excitement, mystery, and there is also beauty in the unknown and uncertainty. See solutions and not problems. And sometimes, if there is no kind of shakeup, or if there is everything is like we already know what's going to happen, or if we are sure of everything, sometimes it kind of makes things mundane. Choose to see things in a better light. Although it may seem as though it's just not the greatest, there's always going to be an upside. It's like that quote, seeing the glass half full. The point is, when it comes down to it, that we should definitely see the greater good in situations. Okay, so this is a human thing. Feelings. Love them or hate them, they will be there regardless of whether or not you like them. The good news is, these feelings here, they are not real. They're not real. They're fleeting. Feelings are absolutely not real until we allow them to come to fruition. That's why we must be very careful with whichever feelings we decide to adopt. According to Dr. Daniel Amen, author of Change Your Brain, Change Your Life, your thoughts lie a lot, and they come from many places, from families, friends, media, whatever you allow your mind to entertain. It is proven religiously, scientifically, and philosophically that we must be careful with what we say, hear, and see. They are all correlated like our feelings and thoughts. Your brain releases chemicals every time you have a thought. They are going to come throughout your day. Let's say somebody cuts you off in traffic and you're just super upset. You have road rage, you forget about it. Or maybe you don't, and it's in your mind all day. It goes to show that they're fleeting, they're going to be there, they're not going to be there. Every day is another day, and there's another experience. It's just not going to always be there, the same exact feelings. But that's a good thing, though, for us, because we can change the story, we can flip the script.
The secret to attracting what you desire is to forget what you think you need. And when you forget what you think you need, and you focus instead on how you want to feel and how you want to be, that's when your life starts to unfold naturally. That's when the visions you have become your reality.
If you feel undesirable thoughts, we have undesirable. Say, for instance, you're feeling uncertain, or you're feeling stuck, misguided, or maybe you're feeling anxious or discomfort. Let's just say I was feeling uncertain, stuck, misguided, anxious, and discomfort. Hated it because I like to feel as though I am on track. I like to feel as though I have things figured out. I literally was not the best person at the time feeling these kinds of things. We are able to switch that up with awareness. If you're feeling uncertain, we can shift all of these feelings. We can shift all of these to desirable feelings. Goodness, my penmanship is not the best. As you can see, I don't really write much. I'm often typing. If you're feeling uncertain, we can shift that feeling into feeling certain. If you're uncertain, we can definitely shift that to being certain. If you're feeling stuck, we can shift that into feeling free. If you're feeling misguided, we can shift that feeling into being well guided. If you're feeling anxious, we can shift that feeling into being unbothered. Please, guys, put captions on, because your girl's handwriting isn't best right now. So anxious, unbothered. Let me just rewrite that for you guys, because that does not look great. And if you're feeling discomfort, we can shift that into feeling comforted.
One of the best mental health tips you'll ever hear is that if you feel like you hate everyone, eat. If you feel everyone hates you, sleep. If you feel like you hate yourself, shower. If you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts, write them down. If you feel stuck in the past, plan for the future. If you feel anxious about the future, focus on the present. If you feel restless, take a long walk. If you feel like giving up, remember a time you succeeded.
You're probably thinking to yourself, Amoore, how can we shift these feelings with your willingness and your desire? It's simple. I personally have done this. I did this by leveling up spiritually. Leveling up spiritually is a game changer. It can help you in every outlet in life. I realized this when I just had no other place to turn. Now that we're at the spiritual part, some people don't believe in spirits and things like that, or deity, or any kinds of things like that, especially when it comes to science and stuff like that. However, as David Eagleman would say, good science would include all kinds of outlets in life, discoveries, especially when it comes to religion. You would include every perspective, and then you will gain insight. A conclusion will be brought upon within gathering sources and data of what seems to be the end of the hypothesis or the theory. Besides what a neuroscientist such as David Eagleman or others have said about science being gathered data brought together to figure out an ultimate conclusion, what most people in the neuroscience field would say about the spirits and the mind, because guess what? The brain and the mind are not the same thing. The brain is supposedly separate from the mind. The mind and the brain, however, are interconnected and they work as one, which makes sense because once the neurotissue is damaged, it has an impact on how an individual acts and personality and their spirit and so on and so forth. However, when it comes to the mind, it's separate from the brain. In a scientific field, they claim that to be something that has not been discovered yet because it is still embryonic, which is still young, and there's not enough research yet to basically claim any kinds of claims. It's been debatable since the days of Aristotle, where the brain it's a separate entity from the mind, and the mind is, religious people would say, it's the spirit and the soul, but in the scientific field, the mind is another part of the brain. However, they don't have enough research to really claim what it is that is going on, because with the mind, as humans, we are the only animals that are able to make a moral judgment. We're the only animals to be able to distinguish certain things. However, our brains are comparable to some animals. Our brains are very similar to some animals. However, our brains, they may look like those animals, but it does not mean that we have the same functions. We do have the ability to do many different things opposed to other animals. As you can see with our day-to-day lives, we are able to make homes, build businesses, function as the humans that we are, while these other animals, within time and evolution, they are still out in the wild. It's pretty obvious that their functions are different opposed to humans. Now that we have gathered that the brain and the mind are two separate things, science also recognizes that, which is crazy because it seems as though philosophy and science has a lot to do with religion. It's also tied, and that's why there's so many scientists and people that end up going towards religion. It may not be Christianity, however, when they do further research, they finally come to realization that there is definitely a deity. Your thoughts and things that you say, they're not real until you make them come true. Because when you focus on something and you ruminate thoughts and you constantly think or say things, they eventually come to fruition because it's a repetitive thing.
Here are the top 3 ways to stop overthinking and ruminating based on science. Phase 1 is understanding, in that 3 pounds of spicy meatloaf between your ears, what is actually occurring. So there's a portion of your brain called the default mode network. And when we shove people into a functional MRI, which is looking for brain activity when they're overthinking, that thing is lit up like a Christmas tree. Now, it gets turned on when the frontal cortex and areas of it that control focus get turned off and on. So when you are defocused, overthinking steps up to the plate to practice your problems but not provide you solutions. So there's very simple things that we can do. Number 1, mindfulness. However, here's the caveat to mindfulness. It's not for everyone. Meditation for people that have anxiety and depression can give those voices in your head a stage to play out. So some other simple strategies to do instead. Square breathing. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold, 4 second out, 4 second hold. Counting your steps to 20 on a 5-minute walk. Again, we're just trying to focus. We're trying to orient our focus. And last but not least, one of my absolute favorites is simply drawing flowers on a sticky note. It does fine motor and it gets me focused, takes 2 minutes, and it always turns off.
So that's why it's important to take control of your mind, take control of your thoughts and what you say, because whatever you say and whatever you think can come to life. And that is a proven study, scientifically, religiously. Dr. Masaru Emoto conducted a water study and found that the physical structure can be changed by words. Water exposed to positivity forms symmetrical and aesthetically pleasing ice crystals, while water exposed to negativity produced asymmetrical and less appealing structures. Words have the power to heal or to destroy, to bless, or to curse. So speak life.
The most powerful healing instrument on the planet is your own voice. If you want to heal anything, go to where it first started. In the beginning, God said, "Let there be light." Sound, he said, sound becomes light. Tesla and Einstein both said the future of medicine is frequency. When you speak a word, "I am healthy, healed, whole, and complete," these words oscillate and crystallize the water. We are 90-something% water weight. And then Jesus called the Father, consciousness binds to the water. And then the words that I just spoke oscillate and vibrate into the potential DNA. The double-stranded DNA codes for proteins which are in accordance with the words I just spoke. Your words create your reality. The word becomes flesh. Use your words to heal.
The power of the tongue is more serious than some may know.
Don't speak negatively to yourself, though, even if it's just a joke. Your body and your subconscious do not know the difference between what's real or what you're actually just thinking. Words are energy, and this entire universe that you and I are sitting in right now is built on energy. And so if you want to change your reality, you have to change the way that you speak to yourself. If you change the way that you speak to yourself, you can change your life.
Some people think, haha, it's a joke. No, it's not a joke. Like, if you say something negative, it was not meant to be harmful or anything. But the thing is, like, if you're saying something really rude or negative, it takes a toll because the mind doesn't understand what is real.
We need to learn about this stuff in school, I swear. Although the body is very intelligent, it cannot tell the difference between an actual situation and a thought. It reacts to every thought as if it were a reality. It doesn't know it is just a thought. To the body, a worrisome, fearful thought means I am in danger, and it responds accordingly, even though you may be lying in a warm and comfortable bed at night. The heart beats faster, muscles contract, breathing becomes rapid, there's a buildup of energy. But since the danger is only a mental fiction, the energy has no outlet. Part of it is fed back to the mind and generates even more anxious thought. It'd be really useful if we knew this stuff as kids. A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. I hope you have a great day.
The body can take in things. It really cannot, sometimes in some cases, scientifically proven, we cannot differentiate some of the words that we use. For instance, you're a little tall person. I'm going to use an oxymoron because it's better than saying one or the other. Somebody might take that to offense. Oh my gosh, I'm a little tall person. What does that mean? If a person doesn't take that as a compliment and they feel as though that's very mean, that could take initiative into the body and send out a message within the brain neurologically, either neurologically or sometimes it could just be physically. The body can send a message throughout your entire body. It could have a negative impact. I'm the biggest jokester of them all. I'm not gonna lie. However, when it comes to some things that are kind of sensitive, I don't joke about certain things. I just know that it does have an impact. I've witnessed that. I've seen it. People joke around about things. I've seen how like some people just try to play it off like, but I see how like offended they are after. Sometimes people just try to play it off. They maintain this relationship with others. It's not healthy because people should be uplifting each other. We should be building each other up, lifting each other up, making sure we all are filling each other's cup, because when you're taking from others, you're emptying their cup. And the thing is, we cannot pour into others' cups, right? Like, say for instance, I have a friend, she's having a very bad month. If she's been taken from my cup for the longest, or somebody else has been, and she's just trying to come back again and like keep on taking from the cup, what do you think's gonna happen? it's going to be an empty cup, right? How am I going to fill your cup when you've already emptied out the cup? You get what I'm saying? You cannot give to others when your cup is empty, especially when you are going through your own stuff. You have to make sure that you are okay physically, mentally, emotionally, and just overall, to make sure that you are able to be a blessing to others. If you just allow people to just drop their baggage into your life and you're not receiving any kind of reciprocation, it's kind of like you're left on empty. And how do these kinds of people expect you to keep on giving when you're on empty? Doesn't make sense.
Bro, you're so lucky to have found this video. If you could understand the next minute, your entire life could change. Albert Einstein once said, everything in life is vibration. So while I talk, pay attention to the video below. If you stick with me to the end, something magical will happen. Now, I might sound like a nerd, but remember in chemistry, everything is made of atoms. And these atoms are in a constant state of motion. Vibration isn't just a scientific concept, it's a foundation of everything in the universe. From the tiniest particles to the grandest galaxies, everything operates on a different frequency. So how does this relate to you? Look at these metronomes, they're starting to synchronize and they're swaying in the same ways. That's just like real life. The people you surround yourself with, the activities you engage in, the environment you're in, they're all factors that change your vibration. And if you're around people who are happy and vibrating at a high frequency, your life starts to reflect that positive energy. You become more aligned to the joy, success, and fulfillment. If you're stuck in negativity and surrounded by low energy people, your vibration will match that. So take control of your environment, seek out positivity, and engage in activities that uplift you. And that's when your life starts to transform. Your frequency is powerful, so use it to shape the life that you want.
These kinds of people need to understand that, or if they don't understand, you need to distance yourself.
Negative people ruin your life. There was actually a study that was done in 2006. It was called the bad apple effect, where they took groups of 5 people and randomly added a negative person to some of the groups to see how it would affect the group while they were working on tasks. The groups that had one negative person did 40% worse on all of their tasks, and the quality of their work decreased by 25%. They also found that groups that had a negative person had 50% more conflicts and more disagreements, which led to less effective collaboration. The crazy part about it though, these sessions were only like 30 to 60 minutes. Some of you have had negative people in your life your entire life though. Imagine what they're doing to you mentally. You have to be okay with letting people go because your mental health is so important that you need to prioritize that over everything else.
Distance yourself from people that emotionally dump on you and they don't try to hear you out as well. That's abuse in another form. It may not be purposely done on the other end. They don't realize that it can be abuse because we all have our problems. Everyone has problems, whether it be bigger than one person or another. They all are problems. We all have to make sure we are getting our cups filled and that we equally fill others' cups as well. It's not fair to others. It's not fair to us. It has to be a great balance. That's how life is. It's a balance. You need to be centered. Otherwise, it can be chaotic. As you all know, I'm a Christian. However, there are some non-Christians that also listen to Joel Osteen. He mentioned this is also kind of like what Joe Dispenza said. That's why I'm always saying philosophy and religion is kind of the same thing. Because in the Bible, it says like to guard your thoughts, guard your heart. Joe Dispenza tried to say that. Neville Goddard tried to say that. Joel Osteen said it. But he also mentioned that just because a thought comes doesn't mean you have to think it. You control the doorway to your mind. You're in charge of what you give access to. Be selective of what you allow in. If a thought does not serve you, then it's best to just release that thought. Do not cultivate it. Do not give it time. The more time you give it, the more it will take root. And once it takes root, it will grow and then become a belief. If it's not going towards your purpose in life, if it's not serving the world in a greater purpose, if a thought is not serving you, we need to uproot it, pluck it away like a weed in the garden. Our thoughts are like a garden. We need to tend to the garden, make sure everything's okay, everything's blooming, everything's looking beautiful. We see these weeds, and it's a duty to pluck them out and make sure it's not going to take over the garden, because if you allow them to sprout up everywhere and if you don't pluck them up from the root, then it will take over the garden and our roses will die, our fruits, veggies, whatever we have in that garden, and that's a no. We want to bear great fruits, veggies, and obviously flowers. Flowers are the star of the planet, right?
If you're somebody who is dealing with negativity, it could be negativity in any aspect of your life. It could be negativity in your job, negativity in your romantic relationship, negativity in your other relationships. I want you to think about relationships being everything in your life. What's your relationship to your shower? What's your relationship to your family? What's your relationship to your home? What's your relationship to your belongings? What's your relationship to the things that you achieve? What is your relationship to life? See, I might have caught you in a place where it's negative. It's a negative relationship. You're not really going to the relationship to give something. You're going to get something. You're going to that job to get the money. You're going to that relationship to get some type of validation. You're going to the external world to fill you up because you don't think that you have enough. So there's something in the external world that will make you more valuable, more loved, or more noticed. And we play this game because we feed into thoughts from the ego. Thoughts from the ego don't stem from God. They're not thoughts that say you are full. No, they're thoughts that say you are lacking. And you can be more full if you do this. And so a lot of times we swim in this state of negativity. And that might be where I've caught you. And the quick shift is to heighten the distance that you have from viewing the situation you're looking at, right? So if you're in the situation, you're in the weeds, you're in the shit, it's hard to see because all you see is what you're surrounded by. But when we start to take a bit of a giraffe type of neck looking down at the situation, you start to see things from a higher perspective. Maybe there's a situation in where you're learning a lot about what you're going through. Maybe there's a situation in where you're learning how to see innocence in other people. Maybe you're learning how to see innocence in yourself. It looks different for everybody, but I know the goal is always the same. God's bringing us back closer to himself. And somehow we have built up these walls to prevent love from getting to us because we say, no, they don't deserve our love. I'm not deserving of love. And so a wall comes up. But I'm here to say, this is the type of day where we can dissolve these walls. We can say, you know what? I do see the innocence in other people. And because I choose to see the innocence in other people, I'm going to choose to see the innocence in myself as well. And so even though I might get hit with a negative circumstance, I might get hit with a really negative life event, there is positivity here because I'm going to grow through it. There is positivity here because I can choose. No one has the right to choose the way I see my situations. Nobody gets the right to choose how I feel about my situations. And I know that a lot of how I feel is going to come from the thoughts that I think. So I'm going to go up to those thoughts and I'm going to invite God in. And I'm going to say, God, please take those negative thoughts away from me. Dear God, please put within me thoughts of hope. Please allow me to see that you're in every instant that I'm in. And it's not just me. It's not just me figuring it out. It's not just me making things happen. It's not just me against the world, God. It's you and me. You and me. I want you to think about this for yourself. Imagine you and God against the world. You and God. You and God. That's how it is. You and God. Not just you. Not just you. And that's the reminder that no matter what problem is set in front of you, God is bigger than your problems. No matter what it is that is in front of you, God is with you to help you get through it. So remember that.
It is important to take care of your mental health. It starts mentally. Everything that goes on in your life starts out mentally. That's why it's important, as I said earlier, to level up spiritually. It's important to exercise your brain and your thought process and make sure everything in there is healthy. Healthy mind equals a healthy life. We don't even need the A, just healthy mind equals healthy life.
Yo, I've read 100 books about reality manipulation, manifestation. They all come back to this one thing. All you have to do, whatever you want to happen, you hold it in your mind's eye. The more you amplify and intensify the emotions, the more you maximize the amount of time that you create that visualization. If you have to set reminders on your phone 10 times a day to remember this visualization, do it. And the more you do that, bro, everything in reality is made of the same thing. Separation is an illusion. Everything is vibration and energy, and thoughts are things. Thoughts dictate your emotions dictate your actions dictate your results. Anything you want in life comes first from thoughts. Bro, that's how you that's what every single book comes back to. Like, and try it for yourself. If you don't believe it, try it. Bro, it's insane.
Everything starts from your brain. Everything starts from a thought. Everything starts from your mind. Think about it. Every invention, these glasses, they came from a thought. They came from someone who thought, oh, I'm going to make these glasses. They are going to be blue on the bottom and they're going to be darker at the top. And it started from a thought. Every thought that you have will eventually come to life. Gather yourself, gather your thoughts, gather your mind, and make sure you are having positive thoughts and things you think about to improve the world and make the world a better place.
You are the only person that thinks in your mind, and you create your experiences. And just for this moment, I want you to catch the thought you're thinking right now and ask yourself, is it negative, or is it positive, or is it neutral? Do you want this thought to create your future? Now, because we think so quickly and the thoughts just go whizzing through our minds, it's not always so easy to begin changing our thoughts. You can start by editing your speech. Begin to listen to what you say, and don't say anything that you don't want to become true for you. There are literally billions of thoughts that you can think, and infinite numbers of things that you can say. Make these be nourishing thoughts. Pick thoughts that create nourishing experiences for you. Don't waste time thinking thoughts that create problems for you and then try to fix the problem.
It all starts up here. Say, for instance, you want to get in shape. You're not going to just get in shape. No. You have to think it, desire it first, believe it, and believe that you can do that first. Just embody that. It's the essence. And then once you feel that, once you think you can, you get in there, you start doing, and you start becoming. It all starts up in your brain. And it's really hard to get yourself mentally healthy when you're feeding yourself bad, toxic things, bad things that are going to make your mind not function as well as it could be, or to your highest and truest self. The goal is to be your highest and truest self, which is to feed yourself better things mentally. People that care about themselves health-wise, you're not about to feed yourself just any old thing. You're going to feed yourself clean food, organic, healthy. So that's the same thing you got to do for your mind. It's a whole unit, and you got to make sure it all works in one. But definitely it starts out mentally. You have to think it, believe it, envision it, see it, and then you can work from there. To be the best version of yourself, the highest and truest self, this is for everybody. Science has shown authenticity, it's the highest frequency. Frequency can be labeled as different terminology as well, just like mind and spirit. It's interchangeable. People just like to phrase things differently.
What is the highest form of frequency that I can abide in? That was the question that these scientists were asking. They found that there was a frequency that made people vibrate 400 times more powerful than the vibrational frequency of love. And it was the vibrational frequency of authenticity. To become the truest version of yourself with no lies is to vibrate at the highest form that you can possibly vibrate at, giving you a sense of peace, equanimity, and truthfulness. And all the baggage doesn't exist because you don't have to wear a mask. Therefore, you can be who you are. You can move faster. You can live free. And authenticity is the key to everything. And if you can do things authentically, you win the game. So once again, it goes back to the mindset. Like, are you being a liar? Well, you know when you're supposed to go to the gym. I'm not saying you have to go to the gym every single day, but you know when you're supposed to go and you don't go. You know when you're supposed to sit down and read that article or that book or listen to that thing and you don't do it, and you know you're supposed to. You're not being authentic with yourself because you want something, but your actions say something else. And your mindset and your actions need to be aligned. We talk about this concept of faith. People are like, you just need to believe. You need to believe that you can. Faith, without your ability to manifest it in the three-dimensional world through action, is dead. You can't just believe things. You have to create them through action. You need to materialize them with energy and at whatever frequency you're going to place it at. Remember, frequency always exists. What we're doing is we're tuning ourselves to that frequency. Nikola Tesla famously said, my brain is a receiver of information. But what are we taught in the school system? That our brain is to be jammed with things that you have to memorize, and this is blocked information, and this is how your brain works. Well, what if we're only tapping into 5% of our brain? What if the conversation here is, dude, what if I have to get smarter and tap into more of my brain? What if that's the maybe if you're operating off of 2%, you deserve to be broke because you're not operating at your optimal. So how do you expect optimal results if you're not operating optimally? It doesn't make any sense because you're going to attract that which you are. Naturally, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If Nikola Tesla says, hey, the brain's a receiver of information, what are the things that are causing static? My inability to receive information, or my inability to get inspired, my inability to actually put forth the effort and purpose that I want. Well, what's the music that I listen to? What are the friendships that I hang out with? What's my environment? What do I eat? How do I speak to myself? All these things are either causing static or stillness, and your ability to what? Receive information that gives you inspiration in order to act. Think of you and me in 1940 or 1950, driving down the Midwest in an old Cadillac, and we wanted to listen to some music. That music is already attuned to that frequency. What we have to do is tune the radio and position ourselves in that frequency so then we can tune into it. So most people, they want to operate at a high vibrational frequency, attract prosperity, attract purpose, attract wealth, but their actions aren't aligned with it. So you have to act and then you'll receive. You have to do and then the outcome will produce itself. All you have to do is change your mindset and be like, hey, you know what? Instead of looking at the situation negatively, you may look at it positively. Well, how do I do it? I don't know. Lie to yourself until you believe it, just like you lied to yourself about the negative shit. But once you understand that you can't solve the problems in your life with the same mindset and the same information that gave you the problems in the first place, then you understand that you need a renewed mind and you need new information in order to behave differently. Authenticity is the name of the game.
Authenticity is going to be your best bet on anything. When you are your highest and truest self, which is your authentic self, not only can no one else be like you because you are the OG, also, I feel as though people can really sense it. They really can. When you're your highest and truest self, people respect you more. You kind of own your space. You don't rely on anyone else for validation. Validation is for parking, right? It's not for people. That's what we need to get through our heads. Just because someone doesn't validate you doesn't matter. As long as you validate yourself, that's what matters, because we are not a parking lot. We are not a parking space. We are a strong and powerful individual. Once we take a look and gander and look at that perspective, when we are our truest and highest self, it's respectable. When we look at other people in our walks of life, think back. When you see somebody within their own essence, it is so much more alluring and more respectable when somebody is trying to be so much more like everybody else. In my own experience anyway, I feel as though it's kind of like, you're not in your truest and highest self. I'm just kidding. That's definitely not how I react, but I'm nice to everybody in real life. When it comes down to it, I feel as though people with like this like natural ooze of riz, it's like, well, damn, they know who they are. They're so confident within their own shoes. They know what's going on in life. They are going to take the cake. That perspective, outlook, and that approach is definitely respectable. To be honest, there's only one you, No one else can replicate that. It's best to be your truest self instead of living in the shadows of someone else. When you're your true self, you're in your highest power. There's no two of anyone. So authenticity is definitely a superpower. How do we get authenticity? Just be you. Not just be you, but also to have discipline. Most of the time, a lot of people, they have this idea of themselves that is just so beyond discipline.
You're going to either suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Let me say that again. You're either going to suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. If you want to change your life, you're going to have some discipline. You're going to have to change some habits. You're going to have to do some things that are out of your comfort zone. And there's a little pain involved there. But you know what? If we let 5 years go by and we don't do anything and we're still in this same ugly spot that we're in right now, then we're going to suffer the pain of regret. I'm telling you right now, discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. We do not want to suffer the pain of regret in 5 years, because we're going to be 5 years older. And if we're in that same spot, regret is just going to be draped all over us. Guys, let's start showing some discipline. Let's start making some changes in our life. Let's get our ship going in the right direction. Let's get ready to write an amazing chapter for this next chapter of our life. You're either going to suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
Without discipline and really taking some reflection on what's going on, thoughts can run wild and can run rampant, and we can be uncontrollable. That's why we must be selective and picky with what we allow to ruminate in our mindset.
You want 10 years of therapy in 1 minute? Let's go. List out everything that's stressing you out on a piece of paper. Number it. Look at the list. Circle the one thing that's stressing you out the most. Then ask yourself these two questions. What is the worst case scenario of that stress that I circled? And more importantly, what is my deepest fear about that worst case scenario? That's going to make you cry. I want you to touch the tension in your body, breathe deeply and slowly into it. And I want you to remember this and say this. In the heart of my pain, I reclaim my true identity. I find my freedom, just as the Creator made me. I want you to breathe deeply and slowly and say, I unlock and release all that anxiety from deep inside my body. I am free.
When you have discipline, you're just bound for success. Without it, success is not going to be at arm's reach. It'd have to be like lightning in a bottle. Discipline is very essential for when it comes to being your truest and highest self. That segues into my next thought.
You're sad because you lack passion. You lack passion because you don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself because you fall into all or nothing perfectionistic ways of thinking. You live in all or nothing thinking because it's a coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism because somewhere in your brain it believes that it's protecting you. And it thinks it's protecting you because at some point in time in your life you were punished for being your authentic self. As a result, you have learned to protect yourself from people or environments that made you feel unsafe to be your authentic self. You got so good at protecting yourself that you didn't realize that the same protective coping mechanisms that you developed that once kept you safe at one point in time are now outdated and actually causing you more harm than good, because now they're making you feel stuck, making you feel hopeless, unmotivated, and making you feel even more disconnected from your authentic self. And that's not very cash money. But the good news is that you are capable of changing this dynamic. You're going to want to start by giving yourself more grace and compassion and allowing yourself to be a human. What'll help with that is challenging your all or nothing thinking. What helps with that is rebuilding your connection with yourself and rebuilding your trust with yourself by actually giving yourself credit for the things that you do. I just said do. Acknowledge your progress as well as the setbacks and the mistakes that you've made, and give both equal opportunity, as well as acknowledge both with kindness and consideration instead of shaming yourself and punishing yourself. Start spending more time with yourself. Build that safe space with yourself. Talk to yourself. Journal. Get to know who you are. Make yourself feel supported. Allow yourself to express yourself the way that you need to, that makes you feel more authentic. You deserve that.
What is your purpose? Ikigai, the term in the center of the diagram, is a Japanese concept stemming from philosophy, meaning one's life purpose or reason for being. I encourage everyone, even those who already know their purpose, to take a look at this diagram and do some reflection. It's a useful exercise. Even if you have to take a minute, or if this little break is long enough, just take this time to take a look at the diagram and do some reflection and think to yourself, what is my life purpose? Even if you have to draw out the diagram and fill in the areas and write it all out to help you see it on a piece of paper, that could also be very helpful. But this question to ask yourself is a great question to ask to remind yourself of why you started in the first place. If you don't know your purpose, and it's okay, we can still use the exercises and the tips that I'm gonna show you guys. When I think of what is my purpose, what is my vision, what wakes me up every day, what keeps my drive going, my goals, my dreams, everything that I imagine, I just think of it sometimes when I'm down and out. I think to myself, why did I start all of this whole journey? It literally helps me. Like, okay, snap out of it. We've come this far. We've done so much already. Girl, get it together. We did not come this far just to throw in the towel. No, we came here to defeat and conquer. We came here to do something, and we're gonna get it done.
Life is going to work out perfectly. All the right things are going to happen. All the right people are going to come. And all the wrong people are going to leave. You're going to have a beautiful home that brings you peace. And you're going to have a dynamic career that gives you purpose. You're going to wake up next to the love of your life and spill sweet words over morning coffee. You're going to have slow Sundays and wholesome holy days. Your art is going to be impactful, and you're going to be recognized for your devotion. You're going to travel and see the world, and you're going to encounter incredible people along the way. You're going to be seen for who you are and appreciated for all that you do. Don't worry so much, my friend. Life is going to work out perfectly.
Have that kind of mentality as well. That's another helpful thing to keep in mind. But Joe Dispenza, just so many different people I've gathered information from. This is not stuff that I'm just saying. And the crazy thing is, the stuff that I came up with, it was before I even done my research. It was advice given from many inspirational speakers, philosophers, business owners. I'm just like, goodness, these tips that are given from them, I've been doing, so I definitely need to share. Maybe it will help somebody else out there. We're finally here to the moment some of you probably have been waiting for. Now we're gonna get to the short-term remedies, I shall say, to help you when it comes to a situation where you feel like, what the heck? I am not in control of this situation. What am I gonna do? Some of the things that I like to do are some little body tapping. I like to do a body tapping and breathing. I watched a few things online. I've been doing it. Supposedly, if you just go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you don't have to count. But like, it's got to be like at least a good 10. And then you do 10. You tap 10. Like count to 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then there's also something else that you put your hands behind your neck. You just kind of like shift left, shift right, and just like kind of like grasp the back. It's kind of like that. It helps too. There's also another exercise that you do. You just put your arms above, go like this. Negativity out, positivity in. Negativity out, positivity in. Negativity out, positivity in. Negativity out, positivity in. And then there's another one that goes like, you just do like a light jump, like that. That's supposed to help too. You just do that for a little good while. You don't have to do it for a long time. It's just like a couple of minutes. And just like wobble yourself around. And that's good. And then there's some people that just do like the whole body jitter thing. Those are good things to do to lessen stress in the moment. That helps kind of quickly. There is also supplements you can take. Vitamin B and D. You would have to check that. There's also ashwagandha. There's also like this thing by Nello, the calm drink supplement that really works, that I like. Earlier I showed you guys when I went to Sprouts. Well, I don't know if you guys are gonna see this by now. I mean the Sprouts haul now or later. There's a drink that I like. It has like a little CBD in it. That also helps. Besides supplements, there's like deep exercises where like you just breathe from here to. There is also essential oils. Besides essential oils, you could get an orange pill or something that enhances your senses. You can smell something that's just kind of like therapeutic. That also helps. And peppermint also helps. Peppermint teas, relaxing and calming teas too helps. So for short term, before we move on to the next tips of how to overcome all of these trials, setbacks, tribulations, whatever you want to call them, curveballs, adversity.
Here's a power move to vent all your problems out of your body. You're not going to like this one. It's going to create so much resistance, but it's the truth, and the truth makes us strong. Power move. There's no such thing as venting. It's a false premise. When you talk about your problems in order to vent them out of your body, you're simply mentally rehearsing those problems into your life more firmly. You're anchoring your problems more deeply in your life. If you talk about people that you love and all the things you love in your life, and you're constantly talking about things that you love, what happens? You mentally rehearse the love in your life. You create more love in your life. The same is true with your problems. What you habitually think, say, and feel creates your reality. Michael Jordan, arguably the best basketball player of all time, said spending time in the mind gym is just as important as spending time in the physical gym. Steph Curry, one of the best players in the modern era, meditates before every game. Why? To mentally rehearse his winning game, so he can anchor winningness in his reality. Kobe Bryant famously mentally rehearsed every shot he ever took. Venus and Serena Williams famously rehearsed their tennis games. Simone Biles' mental game, that's her strength. That's what brought her back. All of these high-performing individuals realize that what they think, say, and feel is essential to what shows up in their life. We've been conditioned by our families and by society to focus on our problems, and it's holding us down. When you instead get disciplined and focus on what's good in your life and what you want to create in your life, mentally rehearsing the successful, optimistic version of your life, then you'll actually bring about that successful life. You got to think it, say it, and feel it to rehearse it into existence. Just like these great performers, Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, you have to spend time in the mind gym. Just like Simone Biles and Serena and Venus Williams, you got to use what you think, say, and feel to create your own reality. When you mentally and emotionally rehearse your best life comes into your reality. This is law of attraction work, and if the greatest performers of all time can do it, why shouldn't you? Take a page from the playbook of the greats and mentally rehearse your best life. And you'll bring your best life into this life. You'll start to live your best life. You can do it. Why shouldn't you do it?
If you don't know your purpose, I just want to mention everyone is a Michael Jordan at something. We are all gifted. We all have some kind of gift that we have to discover. Just because somebody has one gift doesn't mean your gift is less than, or doesn't mean it's not as important as. Every gift has significance. Every gift is important, and every gift is a gift. What you do with it is important, because what you do with it, it can multiply, or you can just bury it and just let it dwindle. There's no great fruits from that. There's nothing good that comes from that. So figure out what you're the Michael Jordan of, or what you're the whatever person you look up to. I don't look up to Michael Jordan, but I heard this quote from somebody else. Everyone is an author. Everyone has a story. So tell it. Everyone is significant in their own way, in their own beautiful way. So find that for yourself. Let it come to life, because that's such a missed opportunity. And yeah, everyone is a Michael Jordan at something. So unlock your greatest and truest potential if you haven't already. Now that we have gone over short-term fixes for overcoming adversities and challenging situations that seem to set you back, we are going over long-term remedies to help you overcome these situations. Before we get started on these long-term fixes, I just like to also say it's a mindset too. It's a mindset. You have to choose to want better. You have to choose to see better. If something is not in your favor at the moment and this situation just does not seem like it is going right, you have to choose to shift your perspective in your mind to think, oh my goodness, this is working out for the greater good. Just find the good in every situation. When you make your mind think in a certain way, things will just seem so much better because you chose that. It is all up to us. We are responsible for our own outcomes. Yeah, if something was not in our favor at the moment, maybe that was shifting us to become a better person. It was challenging us to grow. It's character growth. It's making us become a better person, the person we need to be at a certain time or for another situation. Everything is a learning experience, and when we shift our perspective, it's the law of assumption. Neville Goddard mentions this, and he's a philosopher.
Okay, I'm gonna break down all 10 of Neville Goddard's books into one sentence, and still, this does not mean you don't read them. You go read them, because true subconscious reprogramming takes massive repetition, and understanding of universal law takes massive repetition, so go read the book still, but I'll break it down. I'll give you the basic. Deny the evidence of the senses and imagine the wish fulfilled. That's the one teaching he teaches 100 different ways. Let's break it down. Deny the evidence of the senses. In the Bible, they say, go in secret and shut the door. Does that mean go in your room and shut the door behind you when you pray? No. It means shut out all the limitations of your current reality. Because your current reality, the evidence of your senses would imply and create fears and doubts and worries when you're thinking about what you want to manifest. Deny the evidence of the senses. Part 2. Imagine the wish fulfilled. Ask yourself this one question. How would it feel right now if my dream was already fulfilled, if it had already happened? Use your imagination and put yourself into that future reality and grab those feelings and emotions, and you intensify the feelings, you amplify the feelings, and you maximize the duration that you feel those feelings. And that is the secret recipe to manifesting anything you want. Deny the evidence of the senses and imagine the wish fulfilled. So go read Neville Goddard.
My dad told me something today that I will never forget. He told me about the philosophy called Amoore, which means the love of fate. In other words, accepting everything as it is right now in your life and deciding to love it and accept it as things that are happening for a reason. Obviously in our lives, there are things that happen at given times and we're like, why would this happen? Or this is hard, or this isn't going the way that I want it to go. But this philosophy states, what if we just decide, I'm going to accept this. I'm going to choose to love everything that's presenting in my life, whether it looks the way I want it to look or whether it doesn't. And I'm going to believe firmly this is serving me in some way. If it's showing up in my life, it is serving me in some way. And it might not be in the way that I thought. I feel like things might be going wrong, but that's based off my limited perspective. But if I decide to love my fate, that means I love what's happening right now, because maybe, just maybe, it's the soil that's helping me grow. Maybe it's getting me from point A to point B. Maybe a story so much better than my own cognitive understanding is being blossomed out of this present moment. I choose to love the now. I choose to love my fate and trust in the fate that's unfolding on behalf of my beautiful life. Amoore Fati.
We have to assume things and trick our own mind because the mind can play tricks. We have to tell ourselves, oh my goodness, yeah, this traffic only happened because if I were on time, I would have been in that car accident that I could have possibly been injured in or worse. So we have to shift our thoughts, shift our perspective, and make the time that is inconvenient our business, and make that our time to reflect and see, what is this teaching me? What are we going to do here? How are we going to make this better instead of making it worse? Maybe this is just a little detour to the path that I am supposed to be led on. We cannot all be on the same path at the same time. Maybe that path was cleared for somebody else to be at a certain place at a certain time. Then eventually we make our way there. every little thing happens for a reason. And when you shift your perspective into thinking that way, that's a stoic way of believing things, which is also taken from the Bible. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 says, "There is an appointed time for everything, and there is a time for every event under heaven." Some would say it's the universe, but I say trust God's timing. There are so many other Bible verses that also match that train of thought. These are the principles that help many of the greats.
You have to act as if you've already got what it is you want to achieve. You want to know why? Because Jesus literally says so in the Bible. In Mark chapter 11, verse 24, it says, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." It says it, that you need to act as if you've already received it. Believe that you've already received it, and it will be yours. If Jesus says it, then it's true. So act as if you've already achieved what it is you want to achieve. Be this person, embody the characteristics of who it is you want to become, the things that you want to achieve, and you will get it. Now, here are the long term. Firstly, what has helped me the most when it came to overcoming adversity and setbacks and things that I felt like I really had no control over. It literally led me to a point of crying. Like, I just felt like I had no control. Prayer. Utilize the law of detachment. If you feel stuck, let go and let God. As cliche as it may sound, let go to create space for new opportunities and positive things to take place. If you worry, you make it double. Take a step back. Letting go will be the best thing you do. All you need is faith as small as a mustard seed.
I saw somebody say, pray instead of worrying, because worrying is just like worshiping the prop. You better catch it!
Whatever you forbid, heaven will forbid. I forbid it to rain in Jesus' name. You can pray like that. I forbid this sickness to operate in my loved one any longer. I forbid this cancer to stay in my body. I forbid this debt and poverty to stay in my life. In Jesus' name, pray like Elijah prayed. I forbid this poverty. I forbid this sickness. I forbid this fear to remain in my life in Jesus' name. And I allow healing to flow in my body. I allow abundance to flow in my finances. I allow breakthroughs to flow in my life. I allow peace to reign over anxiety and worry in Jesus' name. Now you pray like that and start expecting, and you will see amazing things happen, and everything's going to be all right, because you can tap into this power anytime.
Yeah, what's the best advice you can give two 35-year-old bachelors with no kids?
Okay, the best advice I can give you is you don't have to tell anybody, but talk to God every day. When I was young, I did the same thing most young people do. I didn't think about God, I thought about church on Sundays and things like that. But I was just going along, and God was in the closet. When I got in trouble, then I opened the closet and God.
Okay.
If you talk to Him every day, you don't have to tell anybody. Have a relationship with Him. It's more important, really, than going to church. Your personal relationship with God will, and this is what you ask Him. Say, God, guide me, lead me, and direct me. And you know what will happen? He'll be guiding, leading you, and directing you. You won't even know it.
I wouldn't know what I would do without my mom's prayer group as well. But working out, obviously, like, that is up there. Like, if it weren't for the gym, working out and just being like fit, or like just going for a walk, or just staying active, I would literally go insane. Literally, I am somebody that has to be like physical in some way, like getting some kind of workout, even if it's just standing someplace for a while. Like, literally, like, I cannot be sedentary for too long, or I will go crazy. Positive affirmations, that was such a deal breaker. When I felt down and just kind of like, I don't know, it was the worst feeling. Like, just repeating really sweet things to myself telling myself I can do this, I am this or that, just validating myself.
Write down 6 positive affirmations about yourself on a piece of paper. I am powerful. I am great. I am worthy. I can do it. I will achieve greatness. All these things. Write them down. And then you're going to read them out loud to yourself 3 times a day with energy and power and meaning and conviction. And then you're going to replicate that for 9 days in a row. By the 9th day, your DNA is in the beginning stages of being rewritten. You duplicate it again. You repeat that same process. By the 3rd time through this process, or the 3rd set of doing this, all of a sudden your DNA is completely rewritten. And this has been scientifically proven. By using this technique, you actually can begin to rewrite your DNA and even deactivate genes that are not good for you and activate genes that are good for you. Your body now has shifted into a whole new frequency. Your cells begin to celebrate as you move into a whole new direction.
Let me show you a secret, something that no one has ever taught you. Wake up early in the morning. Before your feet even hits the ground, you should be barefooted and don't talk to anyone. Then you begin to prophesy over yourself. Begin to speak the words of God over your destiny. I'll give you an example. Use your name. I, Kimona, will prosper. The works of my hands are blessed. Everything I touch is blessed. My life is blessed. My business is blessed and will always prosper. Opportunities will always find me, always locate me. I am protected by God. I will always walk in good health. My destiny helpers are locating me and they will help me. My life is a blessing. My children are a blessing. My marriage is a blessing. I will never know lack. I will always prosper. I will attract wealth all the days of my life. I am favored by God. My destiny is connected to great people in Jesus' name. Speak upon your destiny. Speak upon your life. Do this every day and you will come back with a testimony.
7 godly affirmations you should say every day. 1. Everything is working in my favor. 2. God is supplying me with everything I need. 3. The right people are stepping into my life. 4. Big opportunities are always coming my way. 5. My faith is completely unstoppable right now. 6. I can do all things through Jesus Christ. 7. With Jesus Christ, I always win. Repeat these 7 affirmations for the next 7 days and watch how fast your life changes.
We don't need validation from anyone else other than ourselves. Self-love is so important. Validation is for parking and not for humans. Us people, we do not need validation. Just being alive and being blessed with this day and just the opportunity to be alive, we are validated in itself thanks to God. So no validation is needed from any human other than from yourself personally. So look at yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror. Force yourself. Tell yourself, I love you. You are amazing. You are a great person. There's also affirmations, positive affirmations you can seek online. And if you're a Christian in the Bible, there are so many great things you can Google online. But just say positive, powerful things as God would speaketh for us. I am great. Don't downgrade yourself and say, oh, I hope, I wish. No, I am, I will. It's like present tense. Like we've already done this. It's take action. It's all go. Besides positive affirmations, nature is so healing as well.
It's absolutely insane that if you sat in silence for 10 minutes every day with no stimulation, and then you stop using words poorly against yourself and stop judging everyone, including yourself, and then you wrote 5 things that you're grateful for every single morning after you woke up before touching your phone, and then you like walked outside for like 30 minutes every day, just got some fresh sun, fresh air, and then like read 1 page in a book and just filled your mind with positivity and new perspectives, your life would immediately get better, literally after the first day. And if you did that for 30 days straight, anxiety, gone, at least more manageable by far. Depression, non-existent. Happiness level skyrockets. It's really that easy.
You go out in nature, you see a tree, you hug it, you love on it, see a little flower. How beautiful. They're so beautiful. This nature, everything is alive. This here wall is alive. Everything around us is alive. I'm not so sure about papers, as I said. But I do know many things are alive. And that's why there's energy. We're an energy force and an energy field. Be kind to yourself. Have compassion for yourself. Love on yourself. You have to be your #1 supporter. Be good to yourself. Besides the nature, and living up on nature, grounding, going barefoot on the ground because there's energy on the planet. Those frequencies and that energy can go throughout your body when you ground and you walk barefoot on the floor. But just be careful you ground in a safe environment so you don't step on anything unsanitary and disturbing. But anyway, besides nature, we have reading, podcasts, and funny content. Yeah, I also was reading some really good books. Podcasts, there's self-help podcasts, there, whatever podcast helps you feel better, just pop that on. Funny content, yeah. Laughter is also a healing outlet as well. Laughing at things. I was gonna add some funny videos. I might have to I don't know when, but I might add some funny content that I looked at. But I love laughing. I love humor. It's so great. But yeah, besides funny content, do things you love. In this video, I'm definitely going to be doing things I love because it definitely gets my mind off of things. It helps me just remember that living life is all that matters. Live every moment to the fullest and just let it happen because everything happens for a reason, whether we like it or not, and everything is all on God's timing. I wholeheartedly believe that. So why fight the current? Why fight it? Meditation and journaling. Let me tell you, meditation and journaling has helped me so much. When I meditated and when I journaled, that was a deal breaker. I would go into the sauna. I would meditate, literally, because I just felt in a different state of mind in the sauna, and I would just take it all in and just not only say positive affirmations, but I would just repeat things that I wanted as my outcomes throughout the day. In the sauna, and that really helped. It made me feel as though I was at least controlling that part of myself. It made me feel so much better. And journaling, oh my goodness, just seeing it written out on paper made me feel a form of comfort. I also did some journaling memo-wise, voice memo. I would use my voice memos on my iPhone. I would literally speak to my iPhone, tell myself things. Everything worked out. It was insane. And this is why I'm making this video too. This all helped me get through a very trying time that I cannot wait to share with you guys. But as of now, I can't. But eventually I'll be able to share all the things. This really helped me. Working out, journaling, prayer, being healthier, but also just hearing my voice saying these positive things, the outcomes that I wanted on the voice memo really helped. I don't know what it was, just hearing it and seeing it just made a world's difference. I think if I didn't do that, I probably would have gone nuts. Also, some people like to do fasting and prayer. It doesn't mean just fasting, intermittent fasting or whatever with food. Or it could also be just one thing that you really enjoy. Say for instance, you really love coffee. You can't start your day without coffee. Just fasting from coffee alone will also help in fasting and prayer. I really thank God I did all those things, all of these things, because honestly, that's what helped me. Thank goodness, because I was kind of at a bad point. These little long-term fixes helped me in the long run. That's all I can say. Another one that helps is also self-care that I forgot. Make sure you take care of yourself. And self-care can be different for everybody. Self-care for me could be different for somebody else. Self-care for me is getting my hair done. Like I said, my little glow up that I did earlier. I don't know if my glow up is going to be prior to this video or after. I like to pamper myself for my self-care. That's what helps me mentally, but everyone's differently. Self-care can mean a simple thing for other people. It could be a big game changer because it changes your mindset as well when you take care of yourself. Make sure you're okay before you try to help others. Now that I've gone over all of my tips that I've researched and I've tried, it's literally tried and true. I genuinely hope this helps somebody. As I would say, like I said in my song that I wrote, with every obstacle There's always an opportunity. And I decided to take this obstacle that I've gone through, obstacles, and I decided to try and help somebody else out there with some healthier ways to deal with situations that are not in your favor, and try to switch them and shift them into your favor, because that's what matters. So if you guys have any other questions, or if you need any further clarity, please comment and I will be happy to give more information. Well, thanks for watching. Love you all and many blessings. There is light at the end of the tunnel. So take your highest, truest self, your authentic self, and take on this world, because I know you can do it. Lots of love. So for part 2, I am going to be piecing together all the things I love to do, and I cannot wait to share all the things I love with you guys, especially because I am going to be adding on some really fun things. Actually, it was kind of last minute, and I just found out myself not too long ago. So it's exciting, and sometimes things just fall into place for a reason, and that's another thing. Like, that's an example for you guys, that when you set your mind in the right way, and when you put your mind into the right energy, and it even says it in the Bible for Christians, but for those of you who believe in frequencies and all that stuff, that's biblical. I set myself in that mindset. For some reason, I just got a call, and yeah, things just happen to fall into place. I'm excited to share the rest of the things with you guys, and I'm so excited and I can't wait. Lots of love. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you for part 2.